So we'll keep an eye out for Jeremy.
He's on. I see the man with the hat.
Oh,
Hello, Jeremy.
I don't see him yet.
I see him. He's got a hat. I'm with you. I think we've lost you though, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We lost your video, but we've got your voice. So we need to get your video and his voice. So since we can hear you, Jim, and
Yep.
and I'm sure that Jeremy knows all about himself already. Why don't you introduce Jeremy to us and tell us who we'll get to hear from and meet?
Well, Jeremy is another one of those extra special guys. Totally, you're going to learn a lot from him. Outside the box, he is, I want him to tell his own story because he was bullied when he was a kid, had some Tourette syndrome, stuttering kind of things, but turned out to be one of the best drummers in the world. And now he is doing online drumming training, and quite a guy. And he did something real special for us at Fight for the Forgotten. And I want him to tell that story.
He's getting close. I can tell. He's puzzling through it. We see Zach has just taken a bit of a break. I don't know where he went, but he came back chewing. So maybe he grabbed some solid food up from his favorite stash. Maybe used the restroom. We don't know, but he's back. Looks like slowly getting into his pace and staying in the groove for a while.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Jeremy.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Hey, very good, Jeremy. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We heard a little bit. Jim told us a few things about you, and all of them were good. So no worries. You don't have to defend any comments he made. So
okay, good.
Jim, take it away.
There he is. Oh, you're wearing, hey, that's my t-shirt.
Yes. Yeah, I knew that Raphael was going to be on today, so I wanted to be able to, represent. Jim gave me this when I came through Oklahoma City, and I actually wore this the day that I completed my 3,100 mile journey. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm very interested, Jeremy. I don't want to jump in, but I am interested in your story.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, well, you broke the ice with that 3,100 mile journey. So go ahead and tell the folks, how did this happen? I mean, how did you come to, in your mind, say, I'm going to walk across America?
Well, it was really a culmination of things. I was living in New York City at the time. I play drums professionally. I own an online music school, and every year, I pick a cause to do something with. And my hometown had caught on fire in 2018, and it was the Northern California fires. So I teach other teachers how to be able to teach and all of that. So I called my network. We raised a whole bunch of money. I called it Beats for a Cause, and it ended up helping people out. And so I decided that was, it felt so good giving back. So much of the music industry is just not about giving back. It's just all. So I loved the way that it felt. But I wanted to do something more, and I heard Justin on Joe Rogan, and so I knew that I was going to do something. So I was like, man, I really want to donate to his anti-bullying cause, because I would do I would do like drum camps for kids and like help build them up and everything, right? So the anti-bullying thing was very, very personal to me, and I wanted out of New York City, and I was telling a friend of mine that it was so important. I wanted to just scream it from every mountaintop across the U.S. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, I should walk across the U.S. and then tie it to Fight for the Forgotten. So I just emailed. I found Justin's email. I emailed, wrote them a letter. I said, I didn't care if you got back to me or not. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave in April 2019. I've never done anything like this. So I'm just going to see, I don't know, I'm going to do it and then try to raise money for the anti-bullying thing. And sure enough, I did it. I gave up my apartment in January 2019 and I trained, but by training, I mean, I just walked. I went to Virginia and I practiced walking for like 20 miles, but I didn't do it with a pack. And then I flew to New York and left the Brooklyn Bridge. And I went on a 6-month journey and walked all the way to the Sundial Bridge in Redding, California, 3,100 miles. And it took me 6 months.
What's the furthest you had walked before then? Was it the 20-mile training walks, or did you get at least a single state under your belt before you decided to take on the whole strip?
Yeah, it's funny because I have a documentary coming out, and they asked me that in the documentary, like, what was the training? I'd had zero. I had never done an overnight backpacking trip, and like I said, I didn't train with any gear on. So I want to be clear. I did this. One of the few people that I did this completely unsupported. So I was out there by myself. And so I didn't have any support vehicles. I didn't have anything. I had a 52-pound backpack. and I didn't even go straight across. When I left, I didn't want to leave New York without checking out Niagara Falls. So I actually walked up to Niagara Falls first. That's about 300 miles out of my way. And then I left Niagara Falls and I was walking down, and I didn't plan on going to Oklahoma City. And by the time I was in Arkansas, I was on the phone with these guys, and they're like, "You gotta, dude, just stop by." So then I went another few hundred miles out of my way, went into Arkansas. So, but yeah, no, I hadn't. The only walking that I had trained, like I said, was in Virginia, about 20 miles, and I did it in vans. But when I left, I had ultras. I went through 3 pair of ultras on my trip, and I freaking loved them. Loved them. They're the best.
Which one, since we're kind of shoe geeks around here, at least on the running side, and we know that that Zach wears them, which model did you pick?
The Torrens.
They're a great shoe. Nice wide toe box, nice cushioning to make it a little more comfortable.
And I'm glad that I did, man, because this was 98% of this was on asphalt, back roads, during I walked during the rain, the snow, 100-degree heat, right, man? I mean, I walked, I had gotten lost in like right around, what was it? The Pocono, the Pocono Mountains, I got lost like in these back roads. My phone was out. I'd been rained on for 3 days, man. And every part of me hurt, but for whatever reason, my feet didn't really get blisters, right? But I was walking, and my tent was compromised. So I had to set up out there in the woods. My tent filled up with water, and there was coyotes surrounding me at night. So I had to like make a bunch of noise and stuff.
You're a drummer, so I mean it came easy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So was there any point along this journey that you thought, how far is it to walk back to New York, or should I just push on to California? Did you have any doubts in the process, or were you pushed with passion? Jim, that's my new thing. Pushed with passion to make it to the other end.
Right. It's funny because I didn't really it's like I people have asked me that a lot, and it's like I look at it like I did a lot of like self-complaining, and I would like think about quit, but in my heart, for whatever reason, that I knew I was gonna finish no matter what. I really did. Like deep down in my bones, I knew. I just didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know how. I didn't make my route before I went. I made my route, the walking directions on Google, right? You know, I just made them. But before I
Google
went,
came up in error. I'm gonna interrupt you. Google said, no, Jeremy, you can't walk that far, and it just put an error code up. So nobody walks across the United States. Error.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's funny you say that, you know, because I would just do Google out 100 miles at a time, and with my 50-pound pack, I was lucky if I could do more than 20 miles in a day. You know, sometimes I would do like 20. The most I ever did was about 27. That was and I did that out of pure necessity, because I was in Missouri and the bugs were just like coming at me, man, and everything was wet, and I just walked until I pretty much had to collapse, and I just I found this little park out. There's like this little town in the middle of nowhere, and I just slept on the park bench in my wet clothes and woke up and just kept going the next day. It was miserable. It was like 98 degrees with like 90% humidity, and all these bugs were all over me. And Missouri,
I think we're broadcasting to Missouri, and some of them are going to donate, so we don't want to say anything bad. We got a progress update coming here, and we're at 62 miles, 7 hours and 25 minutes in, and we are right in the middle, exactly where he wants to be. I mean, if you were to execute this thing and just take a ruler and draw a line between those two, Zach's record on the track and Dave Proctor's record on the treadmill, it looks like he's doing a pretty disciplined race. 139 on the heart rate. We were at 144 before, and a 542 mile. What happened there? Zach. What are you doing, Zach? We got to have a talk. He's a phenomenal athlete. And so are you, Jeremy, because it takes an athlete to walk across the United States. And here's my next question for you. Sorry, Jim. I'm having a great time hanging out with Jeremy.
I have a couple of questions, but
okay, last one. It's all yours. You left with a 52-pound pack, right?
Yeah.
What did that pack weigh when you got back? Because I would have started finding things I didn't need.
That's a great question. I was only able to get it down to maybe right around the 40 pound range. It got really light in the middle, like right around Oklahoma, right? Because it was so hot, right? But then by the time I got to Nevada, and because I did Highway 50 up to Highway 80, right? I was on the side roads. So that Highway 80 takes you all the way up to this huge pass in Nevada. And then, so it was like 100 degrees, 112, 115. 3 days later, it was snowing. Okay. So now my pack is back to like 50 some odd degrees. So, or 50 pounds, right? So when I hit the bridge, I was right around probably around the 43, 44, but like I said, I had to carry my own water and everything. So I had my 2 water things here in my camel bag. And then I tried to siphon as much water as I could, out of those MRX, pumper deals.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, if you would have brought such great guests on, you'd have more time to talk to them, because I'm a hog. Take over, sir. I apologize.
I know Don, you're fantastic. And I know and love these guys. I know all about them, but I do want Jeremy to give Zach a couple of hints. If Zach wants to run across America, number 1, where not to stop and pee.
Oh boy.
Okay. And number 2, where not to pitch a tent.
Right. Okay. Well, the where not to stop and pee story. So yeah, I have, this is one of my famous stories. I wrote this on the back of a coffee bag, and I was in the Pocono Mountains in northwestern Pennsylvania, and I was just getting used to my pack. I was only a couple weeks out, and I stepped over a guardrail. You know, it was I had been walking all day, man. I was at the end of my walk. The sun was about to go down, and I had to pee really bad, but it was like I had to make it quick because I still had another 2 hours to go before I found a place on Google that I could set up. I saw it. I was like, so I had to haul, right? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pee really quick. And you know, you learn quickly about how important it is to not cut corners, right? So
always unzip first. That's the corner you don't want to cut.
Oh, you just wait.
All right.
So I had my pack on. I stepped over the guardrail and unzipped, was peeing, and the road broke. Boom. And I fell down about a 40-foot cliff, mid pee, right? You know, boom, 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 went like that, just going, and went all the way down out of the cliff. And I'm talking, man, dude, we're in the Pocono Mountains, deep forest, just all the way down. I got up, and luckily, I don't know how, nothing was broken. I broke my glasses. My bag came undone. Everything was a strew, and I got everything got collected, and it was like this. And I had to walk up it, and just as I walked up it, of course, it started raining. So big mudslide came down, right? So that was a big old debacle. By the time I got where I was going, I was cold, muddy, and wet, and still had to camp out in the middle of nowhere, right? So, yeah. So that was the story that Jim was referring to about where not to pee. So it's not about where not to pee. It's make sure that you're not cutting any corners. Like take the pack off. Pee on stable ground.
Yeah. Who would have thought you needed that rule, right?
Right. Yeah.
If someone said, hey, before you go, I'm just going to give you a couple tips. All right. Make sure you pee on stable ground, and you both had a great laugh.
Hey. Yeah. No, it's the real deal, So, and then he was saying like where not to put up your tent. I'll just keep it brief.
Oh no, you're entertaining. We got to run 100 miles here. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Time.
Okay. All right, great. So, well, shortly after I had visited Justin and Jim, in Oklahoma City, I left, and so I had to go northwest, right? Like so through the Panhandle, and it was right before I was getting to Kansas, and it was really hot out, and I came up to this town, and there was like this. I saw this lake on the Google Maps, and so I went to go set up at the lake because I was so dang hot, and this trooper came in, and he said, hey, you can't be here. This lake floods, and there's a storm coming in tonight. He's like, it's a big one, man. So he goes, get in my thing. He goes, I'm gonna let you I want you to post your stuff up here on next to the road in town. He'd seen me on the news, so he knew what I was doing. So anyways, he takes me into town. I mean, when I say town, there's 2 buildings, right? It's a small little place. And he tells me, yeah, set up here. And when he leaves, he goes, no, right across the street, he goes, is a prison. And right over there is a psych ward. He goes, now, if there's a prison breakout, you'll hear these sirens. He goes, stay in your tent. He goes, if a tornado comes, you're going to hear these other sirens and run into that. Then he leaves. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, do people break out of this? Is that a thing? And he's like, no, I'm just telling you. So guess where the story is going to go. Here I am.
I don't know.
I'm sleeping in my tent. It's 2:00 in the morning. And all of a sudden the prison break siren happens. And I'm like, oh my God. I wake up and I hear these dogs like that. I hear these cars going by like that. And then my phone started blinking, and there was flash flood warnings and a tornado coming in. And so now my tent is getting flooded out again. So it's like, do I stay in my tent? Do I leave? So I just sat there and just prayed and was just like, yo, I grabbed my bear mace thinking like, all right, if the prisoner does come at me, I'll just bear mace him, right?
Yeah. I mean, clearly that's the right move.
Yeah. But I made it through it. It was, hindsight, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. But when I was in there, I mean, I did this by myself, man. So, your mind like plays tricks on you, right? you know.
Yeah,
So
you don't have to look for me to agree with that. I think that clearly it might have played a trick on you when you made the decision to go, but I don't know.
Yeah, you know. So it freaked me out. So Justin called me the next day and was like, "Dude, I heard there was a prison break." He's like, "Man, are you?" And Jim tells me, you know, that you're somewhere close, and I was like, "Yo, like I was across the street, man." Yeah, it was something else. So there's that.
Are you writing a book? Are you writing a book on this trip?
Actually, yes, I have a document. I have a 4-part documentary that is going to be coming out hopefully before summer. I just put a trailer on my Instagram, and I have a book that I'm hoping to be finished and out by the end of the year. Yeah.
So where do we find you on Instagram in case we want to follow your next adventure or your last adventure?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have many adventures. So my Instagram is Beats from the Core, BEATS from the CORE, and you know, this like drum corps, because like I said, I give online drum lessons to people all over the world. I give drum lessons to special needs kids. You know, I've been playing professionally for 20 years. Been drumming for about 38 years. You know, and I was able to be part of the Seattle grunge scene and stuff like that. So that's literally been my only job for most of my life.
Jeremy, you're a special person, and Jim, I'm glad you brought him on. And I see you have a special guest down below here, Jim, that has come on with us that you wanted desperately for him to call.
Okay.
But I have one last question for you, Jeremy.
Yes.
Did you wear that hat on the whole trip?
I wore this hat. I wore this. This is a real Stetson. And when I got to right before Reno, I went to Virginia City, and when I was in this walk, I had walked right by my stepdad's house, and so we went into this cowboy hat shop into Virginia City. And the guy hooked me up with it. And so I was able to walk from Virginia City all the way to the bridge and finished it with this hat. So it's kind of special to me.
Well, it's a good reason. It's a good looking hat. It was a pleasure to meet you, Jeremy. I really enjoyed the conversation. And I'll take your advice to always pee on stable ground.
Yo, man. Yo, right on. Thank you. Hey, man, and I just want to wish Zach some good luck, man. And he's an inspiration. And I know I feel like I can feel the mindset of where he is right now. You know, like walking the 20-mile days, just like being in it, the no turning back and stuff, man. And so, God, man, is it how exciting. And I want to ask everybody to be able to donate, because I tied my walk to Fight for the Forgotten. So I love being part of their team, and what they're doing, man, is life-changing for so many people. And I'm just humbled to even have a small part in it. So thank you, man.
That's good. Thanks for asking for the donation so I didn't have to. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Jim.
please.
Yeah. He said one thing wrong there.
What's
What's that?
He's got a huge part of this.
Oh, man.
You're a fight team member with us, man. You're part of us.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, man.
Okay. We love you.
Hey, and everybody listening can be part of your team by hitting that QR code. There's my plug. There's my plug, Jeremy. I got it in too.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, Jim, take it away.
Okay, this is in the middle of the night in Uganda, Gulu, Uganda. B-Tech, my friend, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got him.
Okay, because it's a long distance. Tell us the story of how we are doing with the Batwa Pygmies.
Yeah, I didn't get you right because my network is breaking. but understood the question as you say that how is the bottle is doing down here in Uganda? Yeah, we're really doing great. Due to this pandemic crisis, which I know is all the world around, is affecting a lot everybody in the world. Even the bottle people themselves, that's affecting them because they don't allow them to move anyhow. You need to stay really at home. And when you're moving,
BTEC,
yes.
I'm gonna have to let you know that we are not getting a lot of your words because it's static. So we might not be able to keep this going.
Sometimes if they cut the video,
Okay.
it improves bandwidth and we can hear his words but not see his picture. So BTEC, if you can cut your video stream and we might be able to hear you. Meanwhile, Jim, I'll say this. I can hear his smile. I can see his heart. He is a good man.
Nice. That's why I wanted to come on.
Okay.
Look at this.
Oh.
We love BTEC more than anybody.
So I understand BTEC was taking Brady and making sure he was safe on his runs.
Yes.
I want to tell BTEC he's lucky Zach didn't make the trip. You see him running? That would be a tough person to protect. He's very fast.
Yeah. As I said, the update is the power. I know my network is poor. I don't know if you guys are carrying all. We're really progressing well with the battle. They're really happy for all what God is doing for them since they are being evicted out of the forest. Like right now, they have really land for farming their food crops. They have wells in the first land we bought for them to fight for cotton. We are so happy. So what we still like is we pray for God to provide them good opportunities on the new land which we just bought last year in November 8th, 2019. We're really happy to move that side when they have all those good houses and water in the place in the new land. So we're very excited to work with them. I'm also passionate what is them care. And sometimes they call me, ask me, oh, you're very good, or how are you doing? And they're really so thankful for God for what He's doing really in their life until we move in their new land. Right now, still doing farming in the plot of land which they have, since they can't yet move on the new land since there's coronavirus everywhere in the world, which everybody knows. But hopefully after the pandemic crisis, they'll move and start working on the 43.2 acres of land, planting their food crops and everything, build their houses, shelters for living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, BTEC. That is, that's why I was hoping BTEC could come on, because when you saw his smile in his heart, people can hear his smile.
Well, that's where the donations are going. Well, you were looking right now at a recipient of those donations. So as we try to rally during this pledge drive, right? That's what we're doing. We're doing a pledge drive during this period of time. Yep. And we were looking at a recipient, and he's fighting for the forgotten, and he just needs resources to fight. That's all he needs, because he's got the heart.
One great story about BTEC is he risked his life to go to the Congo to meet Justin to train the team there in the Mbuti picnic tribe in the rainforest. And he spent 3 months training that team in Bunia, DRC.
And you know what would be perfect right now, Jim, is if we could do some kind of QR code donation giveaway. If Kristen would, if she would show up.
Perfect timing for me to
there
pop
she is.
in.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Awesome. You guys are killing it. So you get a lot of the word out there. You know, we do have that QR code hopefully popping up here in a second. But again, getting those donations in is going to help people out Getting the match for that $10,000 would be an awesome goal for today. Get that moving along. Where do you know where we're at?
$1,300.
Nice.
Hey, so we're getting pretty close to
Wow.
our goal. When we heard it was, we were in it for like an hour, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
we already started behind. So if we traced it back to when you and I started, Jim, to see if I'm rewriting the rules since we're running out of time. So if we go back until where we came on and we look to where coming out, we might double it.
And
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis, I mean, Dawn has
Yeah.
really done a terrific job.
Yeah, Don, you have been rocking it.
I'm part of the fighting team. I'm part of Jim's team. He doesn't know it yet, but I walked onto the team. I didn't even try out. I just showed up with the uniform on.
You did. You killed it.
But what are you giving away? What are you giving away, Christina?
So for the giveaway, we do have a pretty awesome prize, but I'm not going to announce that one until the slide comes up. I know there's been a little bit of a delay there. So we do have to congratulate some winners that have gotten some of the SFuels product. Reach out to us on social media and we'll make sure that you do get those sent out to you.
Can I ask a question? Do you use SFuel yourself?
Yes, I do. Yep. So I'm also a low carb ultra runner and I do triathlons as well.
Why should I use SFuel? I'm not worried about you. I'm just more worried about me, Christina. Why should I?
Yeah. So I started using the product a couple years ago and the flavor on it is amazing. Because there's no sugar in it, it's not like sticky and it doesn't get on you. And like I had my hydration pack, I fell during Barkley Fall Classic last year and my hydration pack busted and all of the fluid went down. But I didn't end up covered in sticky sugary. So had that been something else that had like sugar in it, it would have been a nightmare for the rest of that race. So those are just a couple of those components. It doesn't spike your blood sugar levels. So you stay at that steady, that steady burn versus coming up and then having that crash. So you don't ever get that crash with using the product. So that's one of the things that for me that I found really beneficial. Plus you also get all of your electrolytes with it. And then they do have L-glutamine in it, which I don't know if you know a lot about L-glutamine or not, but that does aid with muscle recovery and repair as well as it helps with GI. So, I want to say, I believe it was Jeff that was maybe mentioning earlier about the recovery process. And I mean, it's 100%. So, even going back to that same Barkley Fall Classic race last year, I think I was 7th or 8th female. And so, you're booking it a little bit.
Sure.
And the elevation and all of that. And I was fine the next day. So no soreness, no crazy, the ultra shuffle didn't happen. So that's probably, I would say, one of the biggest advantages, and making sure that your recovery is just spot on, because nobody likes to have that pain the next day.
Nope, that sells me, because one of the worst things and you see it all over the trails, the worst thing is to lean over and bend over and try to correct your stomach because it's so upset. If you can take that out of your race and keep the blood working and fueled, that's a key. So thanks for that tip.
Yeah, no problem. We are going to actually jump to our runner. Steve is on with us while they get those slides fixed. They got some internet issues going on. So there's Steve. Hey, how's it going, Steve?
Doing awesome. How you guys holding up?
We're doing well. You did a 4-hour brick today, right?
Yeah, trying to jump back into the old triathlon here a little bit.
Yeah, so you did a run, bike, run, right?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, we had as a World Vision Global 6K day today as a non-for-profit I work with here locally. So I kind of did one before and one after.
Awesome. Nice. So you're able to get some extra work put in for the day.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, thanks for joining in. I know that you were in earlier and kind of came back in to hang out. So thanks for coming back on with us.
You betcha. It's pretty awesome. I was actually at Javelina 100 when Zach broke the course record there. So it's pretty awesome to be a part of it here.
You're good luck. Whenever you show up.
He is good luck. It's a good thing we were able to come on.
I mean, regardless of how efficient he is right now and how well that Nordic Track works, it's you. You're the key.
That's right.
Well, you better stick around till 7 p.m. Zach's time so that he can finish this thing off. You leave, he's done. So it's on you.
On the whole time now, Steve.
Can do.
You don't have anything else to do today, right?
Yeah, nothing around the old ranch here.
Right. Well, I will go back to, the shout out for Nordic Track. Well, they are still having some internet issues there with getting those slides up. So, you guys mentioned Zach's Nordic Track. If you get entered into that contest, he's probably, halfway through the 60 miles now. I know I did a social media update, and by the time I got it posted, he was already 2 miles further. So I had to correct it right away. But, getting in for that Nordic Track drawing, we are going to do that at the 90-mile mark. So you just go to their Instagram page and you can register for that there. And then
there's one of the sponsors is Buff on there. And you
Yep.
notice he's inside, he's working hard, and we know heat is a concern, yet he's wearing the buff. So what we know about that is it breathes. It doesn't make you hot and become an irritation. Because he's allowed to take that off. There's nothing in that record book that says must do with a headpiece, right?
No,
It just
nothing in
means
there.
you just got to get it done. So he's wearing it because he likes it, which is something we should consider.
Yeah. Keeping the sweat out of his eyes, and maybe who knows if he's stuffing some ice in it. I guess I hadn't seen some of his feed isn't on my screen anymore. So.
And then we move down one more to the Coros that watch which is a long life watch. And Jim, we since some of us are a little slower, we need watches with long lasting batteries. And so that watch comes with a long lasting battery, which is really a great choice.
Got to get one.
Yeah, you got it. Well, yeah, you got to get one. And if you enter, you maybe Christina is giving one away. But
I might possibly be trying to give one away.
You've got to go to the QR code. You've got to donate a little bit. And what I think is happening is we need some donations to pay the bill to get the internet working again. So, we're running out of time.
You're probably exactly right.
We need donations.
If we had another $100 or something come in right now, the internet would probably just turn right back on.
So help Christina out. Fight for the forgotten.
He's
Fight
looking
for the forgotten, the QR code. You can also find them on social media too. I don't know, when you do a post on Facebook, if you go out and maybe you're out running or riding today and take a snapshot, post a selfie, you can tag the charity in it, and you can actually add that donation right to your page on Facebook. So that's another way people can get donations in too. They'll go directly to the charity. My understanding is Facebook does not take a cut of that. I don't know if anybody else has some insight on that, but I don't believe that that they do, because I fundraise for multiple sclerosis every year, and we do a lot of that with that code. So
people can actually donate from social media. Is that what you're telling me? Because I'm kind of a dullard. I'm not sure how to log in. I have to kind of peer over somebody's shoulder if I want to do social media. So you can tag a charity and make donations.
Yep. So you can, if you do a post on Facebook and you tag a charity on it.
Charity. Okay.
Yeah, tag a charity on there. And I do know that Fight for Forgotten is one that will pop up, because I tested it out yesterday and today. So if you tag that on there, it will actually pop up a little screen that says you can share the link for people to donate it. You can donate it to it yourself. But then it does go directly to the charity from there.
Yep.
So that is another option. It does look like we are going to have to pause on this specific prize, because it is one that we do want to give recognition to. So
Okay.
When I come back on in the next half hour, hopefully we will have the internet fixed and we will be able to do that. So it's been great chatting with you guys, both. Don, I believe. Oh, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, progress report. This is the last time you and I are going to get to chat, Christina, but we hope we've generated a little bit of revenue so you can pay your internet bill.
Yeah.
And so let's take a look. He's at 65 miles in 7 hours and 49 minutes. He's tracking right. I mean, it almost looks too good to be true, as he's right down the middle of of those two graphs there. It's amazing how consistent he is.
Really
And,
is.
and that really speaks to his fueling too. As you're saying, no low spots, no high spots. How do you stay even? You've got to fuel yourself evenly.
Right.
And then 142 beats per minute. Go see if that thing even works, because I think it's stuck on that number because he has been so consistent. He's just a machine himself. So
That is pretty consistent.
he
Well,
looks
Don, it was
good.
great chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming on today and being
Yeah.
a spectacular host and, you know, getting some of those donations in, and maybe I'll see you around on
You know
some.
where you're going to see me? You're going to
When?
be reading my name on my donation when I win that treadmill that's
When you
coming
win
up.
the treadmill, you know, you better come be a viewer then at 90 miles, because when I call that out that way, I mean,
I'm putting in. You'll see my name. You might ignore it because employees aren't allowed to win. Isn't there some rule like that? So
probably
I'm going to use a different name.
use a different name. Spell it different.
I will.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Hey, Don,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Jim, you're amazing. You brought the most dynamic people with you that are so fun to talk to. And we could have easily, we could have done 100 miles with each guest. They had so much to share.
Yeah.
And what we found out is they were as much runner endurance athletes as the other guests that have come on. And we were thinking that maybe this group, it's going to be a challenging because there wasn't a correlation, but we found out they match exactly with us.
Absolutely. That's right. That's what I knew in each one of them.
It was my pleasure to meet you. I really enjoyed hanging out with you, getting to learn and meet a person like yourself. And I would like to be considered part of your fight team. And I'm going to go make my donation.
Yeah.